guys, welcome to the social distancing birthday party. So today I'm going to do a couple of different projects that are related to birthday. So this, I actually made this last week. This was done with the house transfers. I also did a live on that last week. So the same one used to make these. I did those on fabric with ink, and then I just cut them out, and I didn't even sew them, I just used glue. So, alright, so I have a bunch of different things planned. So let me just tip the camera down and we'll get started. And hopefully this doesn't break because I just broke it right before I started. That's why I'm a little bit late. So I'm being extra careful with it. Okay. I don't want to tip it any further and have it completely break. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a birthday shirt. So I just put a little t-shirt on the sticky ink mat. Now you could use a piece of cardboard, but the great thing with the sticky ink mat, and they come in two sizes, is the fact that it's sticky. So it's not going to move around on you. So I just slid it in here just to save a little time, but you just want to make sure you don't have wrinkles in it, and you don't want to like stretch it too much. Just kind of, you know, like it doesn't matter over there, the wrinkles, but. And I'm going to use this transfer here. This is Bake It. So this is a two-part transfer. So this one is still available in the last chance, but I'm only going to use the cake part of it. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing that one. At the moment, I think there's only one like true birthday transfer that's available, and it's in the last chance section on the website. And I'm also going to use pieces from this one, which is called Wish Big. This one is no longer available, but I needed something kind of birthday-ish. But you could always take out, take out one of the letter sets and, work with that. Just to save a little time, I'm just going to use the words Wish Big. So this is kind of going to be my setup here. Just move those to the side. And I'm not going to do this part or that part. I'm not worried about that. So now because we're going right on fabric, we don't have to worry about, fuzzing this first. But if I were using this on, on a chalkboard, I would want to fuzz it, so stick it down and then, peel it back up so it had a little bit of length. The dog is staring at me. There you go. Alright, so I'm going to just do this in black. Now there are a couple of options. You can do a lot of projects with just using black, and then use products like these to, color them in, or, get multiple colors of ink.
I don't know if
Oh, okay. Hold on.
That's right.
Hold on 1 second.
Go in there.
Alright, can we just... I'm just gonna share this to the event. Sorry. Okay. Now I'm probably gonna hear myself here. Shit. I don't know. Alright, sorry about that. I have no idea. It should give the option too, but I don't know. Maybe just don't worry about it. Okay. So like I said, you could do a lot of things by just using black ink, and then, using other things to you know, complement. All right, so I have a couple colors over here. Oh, actually, I think I had a different little plan. Let me just grab a paper towel, because usually I work on my wood table, or wood tabletop, I should say, that I can just wipe everything off of, but I don't want to totally ruin this little tablecloth. Now, before you use the ink, you actually don't have to stir it, but I have so little left in this container, I'm just gonna try to get some of it together here. And right off to the side, I have my tray with a little bit of water, since we're gonna be doing a bunch of projects, so that I can go and put everything right in water. So I always like to hang on to the transfer as I go, and then with ink I always go just in the same direction. I don't want to come back and go that way. I just find that works better for me, as far as like having any of it sneak under the transfer, like if it weren't that sticky. And you can also tape off the sections that you're not using, so that you don't accidentally just continue like I feel like I almost did. All right. Or if you're working on something that goes close to an edge, same thing. Again, always make sure you don't have it on your fingers, because once it's on the shirt, it's not gonna come off. Okay, so there's our cake. And if you're doing multiple projects and you're gonna be putting your transfers in some water, you don't wanna leave them there for, for a long time, but always make sure you put them all in the same direction, so that way the sticky parts don't stick to each other. So if you're putting them all in face up or face down, make sure you just stay with that. All right, so we have our cake on there. You can always kind of, if there was some areas that you wanted a little darker, you can take a paintbrush, or sometimes the little fibers of the fabric kind of lift up and make the design incomplete. But this is kind of a sketchy design, so it it's not like a perfect thing. Okay, now I have ink on my hands. All right, let me get this out of the way, or fold it over. I think I actually had planned on putting candles here. I think that was my plan. Because I got the colors to do the, yes, I did. Because I got colors to do the flame. So we'll do this one. I don't know if you could see the dogs. They're just like walking all around here. All right, and then we'll just put candles on the side. Just kind of maybe, well, this shirt is like a 3T, so maybe like representing the age. Let's see. Dog is like sniffing everything by my feet here. So now this is a really narrow one, so you want to really just be, be careful. I actually think I'm going to go across this way, just so that I don't go off the sides. And also, because I just inked this other portion over here, make sure you're not putting your hand in it. might have gone off right there, but that's all right. Oops, so there, it's not, let's see. And some shirts ink better than others. I don't know, it must depend on the, percentage of cotton. But I found the ones that work the best are the ones with a higher percentage of cotton. Some of the other stuff they add in there, they don't work out as well. Okay, let me just clean off my finger. Now, because, let's see, let me get because this is ink and not paste, there's two ways you could do this. This is such like a little transfer. I'm gonna go over it right away, but you could heat set your first layer and then go back and do your second layer on top. But I'm just gonna give one of these candles a little design on it. I can't really see to match it up too well. And I also don't want to make so something like this, actually it might be better to because I can't see through it too well. And we'll just do some, actually here we'll do this one. Seriously, there's ink all over that. Okay, 1 second. That's the only thing with ink. You just have to make sure your hands are really clean, because once you touch it, then you're gonna get the ink where you don't want it. So I'm just gonna put some of these dots on here just to kind of give it a little. And I'm not like super concerned with it being perfect because it's gonna kind of go with the design of the cake, which is like a sketch. So all right, so we have some little dots on there, and once this is dry and then you heat set it, it'll show up a little bit more. So, and I think we'll do some stripes right on the other one. And as far as putting this down on top of the ink, as long as you're not moving it around, it's fine. You could, just keep going. So, I mean, I'm not pressing super hard on it, where it's gonna, mess anything up. All right. And put the little flames on. I don't understand, I'm totally fine, and then I start alive, and I feel like I just get the sniffles. It drives me crazy. It's like every single time. Alright, and we'll just kind of tip it a little bit that way. Actually, let me do this one and then. remember always, whether it's the paste or the ink, just put your, wipe your squeegee back on the side so you're not wasting any. It's also good too with the paste to clean the top edge. I don't really worry so much with the ink. I feel like it stays fine. Alright, so just kind of clean this off. And all these things just wash in, in some cool water. I just have a Lysol wipe that I'm wiping these off with just to save me a little time. I know I'm probably like right now I shouldn't be using them, but I can use this like the whole time today. So, and then just get this out of the way. So, just make sure my hands are clean. So here's the little project. I like to leave whatever I'm inking on the ink mat until it's dry. That way I don't take a chance of like it smushing on it, itself. So after this has dried, you can just take it off of here and you can iron it and put parchment paper, sandwich the design between parchment paper, and you just iron it 4 minutes each side. So that's that project. So I'll just put that here. Alright, so for the next project, it's actually kind of 2 projects. We're going to use the house transfers that we have already used last week, not this part of it, and just do a little bag. So, especially like right now, you can't, be making all trips out to get all different things. So just kind of work with what you have. We'll just do, I don't know, let's see. I think we'll use this one. And we'll just kind of add some stripes to the bag, just to make it a little more interesting than a purple bag from probably the dollar store or something. And this is actually perfect because it's the same width as the bag. So we'll just kind of put it on here. Now, I've already used this, but if I hadn't used it, especially if I hadn't used it, you want to fuzz it on, fuzz it with a towel or fuzzing cloth, because you don't want to have it lift your paper, rip your paper. I usually only use the transfers on paper once I've used them a lot. Oh, I thought it was the same width. It's a little bit narrower. So, and I don't like really press it down because I don't want to have it, rip the bag or rip the paper. Okay, so we'll just do, for this one, just a little white. I wish you could see right off to the side the dogs. They keep running over. Now, with this too, be careful where you're chalking, because if you hit this bump, it's not going to come out even. So, but we'll just kind of do a couple lines. A little something to it, and I will use the same one to put that there for a second to make a tag. I mean, I realize this tag is way too big for this bag, but where did I put the black paste? I usually have, well, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of squeegees there, but it's like, I just kind of have a bunch of them and I just, you know, clean them all at the end. Okay. So we'll just kind of do this to kind of coordinate with it. And I'm gonna use some of these. Actually, we'll go the same kind of direction here. This one I am going to be a little more careful how I put it on here so it's not crooked. Also want to try to have it not all go onto the little tablecloth here. So now depending on what color bag you're reusing, you could have, you know, have everything coordinate. Let me just put this in the water. And there's also, I have terrible handwriting, so I'm not going to, but I would get my sister-in-law to do this for me. There's also chalk markers, and you could write names on there, you know, whoever it's for. You can just, you know, or make more of a design. So let's see. So these tags, they have so many, they're like so many good uses for them. I mean, I made this on the live that I did the little houses. Like how cute would that be on a wreath? Or you see those big door tags that people do for their front doors. I mean, that's like a little mini version of it. All right, move these to the side. So when I finish, I'll set up all the projects and I'll take some pictures and I will, you know, so you can kind of see them all together. All right, let's see. Trying to be like a little organized here. It's not my strong suit being organized. It's kind of an understatement. Okay, so now this one, we're gonna leave that more. We're gonna use, this is the, let's see, the Sylvie board. I always forget the names. So this is like, one of the boards that you can, you know, obviously reuse it. This isn't one of the metal ones. The word is totally escaping me. For some reason I want to say gourmet, but it's not gourmet. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is the board we're going to use for the next project. This board, I got this actually when I went to my convention for Couture last year. And for some reason I put it aside and put some other stuff on top of it and never used it. Okay, so this is the Build-A-Bunny transfer. So this one is retired, so you cannot order it. However, I still have one for sale. I love this transfer. This is, I think it's so cute. I'm actually gonna sit to do this so that, I'll just kind of show you the pieces that it comes with. I'm using it because it comes with a balloon and a little string, but it comes with these adorable bunnies. So I mean, what a great, you know, we have Easter coming up. But they're so cute. A bucket and all kinds of bunnies and all kinds of spring kind of stuff. There's little leaves and carrots, an umbrella, little eggs that you could put in on the top of the little bucket, tulips, and then just some kind of little like floral pieces. So let's see. But what I was gonna do was just really simple, the balloon, up here. This is where I was going to use the wish big, and then wish big. But you could use one of the letter kits and, like, you know, put happy birthday and, like, whoever's birthday it was. But yeah, this, I'm so sad that they got rid of this. I felt like this is such a great transfer because you could do so many things with it, you know, for spring or, you know, again, the balloon for birthday. Let me just see. I feel like my tripod, the little holder from the phone, right before I was gonna go live, yeah, it kind of came apart. So now this one, I know I've used the balloon, but I think I only used it like once. So I am gonna fuzz this because I don't want to have a hard time getting it off of this surface. So if you don't have like a fuzzing, you know, these are from Couture, a fuzzing cloth, you can always use a towel. You could, you know, fuzz on your shirt, on your jeans. Which I have to say, today is like the first time in like, like a couple weeks I've actually like gotten dressed in something other than like pajamas. So it's crazy. Actually, I put jeans on the other day too, a little spider. And so now this has a lot of open areas. This one you want to be extra careful. So I always start in the middle and kind of smooth it out because you don't want to have air bubbles. And then just make sure from your fuzzing cloth or your towel that you don't have, like right here, there's like a little piece of lint. But that's okay because it's out in this area, so we don't really care about that. Let's see. Let's see what color we have here. So this is the Couture teal. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it because I kind of, oh, it looks okay. Yesterday I went to use it and it was a little bit dry. So I added water to it and I added a little too much. So you should always, when you're going to add water, add it with a spray bottle, not in the faucet like I did. So it's a little bit chunky because it must have left the cap off for too long or whatever. So you might see some kind of chunks in it when I put some out, but it's totally fine. Just kind of doesn't matter. So it's really, oops, yeah, it's a little liquidy, but that's all right. I'm just gonna like pull it across and any of the little chunks that are in there, I'm gonna just make sure they just kind of come off the other side there. Yeah, this one is a little liquidy. Alright, let me just, a little splash of it, just got that there. And especially on a piece like this where you have such a big opening, you want to make sure that that you don't leave too many lines with the, you know, the squeegee. And just kind of pull up on a corner, but then you want to pull straight across. All right, so there's the balloon. Just turn it around for 1 second. Just so I can put these on and have them not be crooked. Now these I've used many times. I'm just going to kind of bring them and use its own border of the word, you know, for placement, because I'm going to put the string there. It's such a pretty color. Same thing on this side. Actually, I think the last time I used, because I could see some stuck on there, the last time I used this Swish Big, I use that color. All right, same thing, kind of go from the center so I don't have any bubbles. All right, so for this one, I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do white. Actually, maybe I'll keep it nice and springy. We'll do some spring colors. Let's see, let me just stir these up. So you want the consistency to be kind of like cake batter. No, so this is like that one was kind of a little too thin. This is perfect. Sometimes when they sit, they kind of like separate a little bit. It's just because there's like organic pigments in there. This one's a little bit dry. And I just have my spray bottle. And I filled it up so it doesn't make the little squeaky noise. And I always like to stir it away from the project, so if you get little splashes, you don't ruin something you've already done. So I'm just kind of stirring off to the side here so I don't splatter on the balloon or something. Okay. All right, so let me turn this around. Make sure you're on camera there. And now I have a little water on the side that I'm gonna dip my finger in, and you'll see why in just a second. So, oops, how about get a squeegee? That would be good. So we're gonna do like a little ombre effect, kind of just to give this a little more interest. So I'm gonna do the words one at a time, just so I don't, oh, that's way too much paste. Just kind of put this across the top. This one across the bottom. And, don't worry if you kind of get it on your frame or get it somewhere else on the chalkboard, because we can just clean that right off. Now I'm not like scraping away yet. And I'm really I'm not going to scrape it back into the container because we're doing this effect. Now I'm going to wet my finger, just so that, and not have it dripping wet, but just so that it kind of moves around. And then you're just right in the middle, just going to blend together. There's a big glob there. And then we're going to get another squeegee, just so that, actually I gotta go get this one off. And remember, whatever we scrape away when we do this technique, we're gonna have to throw it away. Well, this didn't really come out completely ombre, but okay. And then just peel it up. Oop, hold on, I have to just let them out. They must see a squirrel. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a hard line there, but that's all right. So now we'll do the same thing on this one here. So now this color is also a little bit like chunky, which is fine because it'll just kind of wipe away the think this one might have worked a little better. It looks really pretty on there. Yeah, that one came out a lot better, but that's the... Sometimes ombre comes out really perfect, and other times it, you know, you'll get a spot where there's like a hard edge like that, but it's still pretty. Alright, let me just clean off my hands here. Get my little dirty squeegees out of here. Okay, so I'll just move these to the side. Give me 2 seconds to kind of clean up so I don't make a big mess. Just kind of go like this. I just cleaned it off and then I put it back in. That was just so this stuff doesn't dry out on me. And then we'll do the little string. And same thing, I have my fuzzing cloth right over here. I'm just gonna give it a little fuzz it. And now obviously be mindful of, you know, of the words. This is dry enough that I could put this, you know, right down here. I think. Actually, it might not be. Because I feel like yeah, it's actually not. Because I just pulled that off. That's all right. I think because it was a little bit watery, I think it just might take a little longer to dry. So I could come back and touch that up, or just wipe it off and redo it. All right, and there is the string. And I like how it has that kind of like, again, that kind of design that's like got a little bits of it are missing. So it kind of looks, you know, a little more handmade. So those are the projects, and anybody who had a birthday last month or this month, happy birthday, and I'm sorry that you know, couldn't go and do all the things you normally do for your birthday. But, so, just, you know, get still celebrate it at home. All right, well, have a great day, and we'll see you later.